This is Taking Stock on Bloomberg. I'm Pim Fox. Ariana Huffington, editor-in-chief of the Huffington Post and the author of Pigs at the Trough, How Corporate Greed and Political Corruption Are Undermining America, is my guest. Ariana Huffington, welcome to the program. Good to have you with us.
Good to be
now,
with you.
I know that this is an updated version of the book. The original book, Pigs at the Trough, really focused on corruption and scandals in corporate America going back, what,
2003.
2003.
You know, the whole Enron, WorldCom, Adelphia, that group of scandals.
And you say now nothing's really changed. In fact, it's gotten worse.
Well, what I'm saying is that the scale is monumentally greater. You know, we were talking about scandals that affected billions in shareholder wealth. Now we are talking about financial scandals that basically have the taxpayers on the hook for trillions of dollars. So that's the difference. It's the scale, and we see the impact it's having all around the country. With people losing jobs, as you know, 300,000 foreclosures or more every month, credit card defaults at record levels, bankruptcies at record levels. So the reason for bringing the book out again in an updated edition is to ask ourselves, are we learning anything? Or are we ready now to just move on, celebrate the fact that the stock market is doing well, that Goldman and Citi and Bank of America are posting profits, and say, okay, we averted disaster, time to go back to business as usual, which many companies are doing. But the underlying financial structure is unchanged. So we're doing a kind of victory dance on top of a very shaky infrastructure.
Well, indeed, in the book, you make out that we go through these kind of cycles, right? We have shock, then we have outrage, then we kind of have show trials. Explain a little bit about the cycles and where are we in the cycle right now?
Well, I think now we are unfortunately at the stage where we are ready to move on. You know, Newsweek this week declared the recession over. We have a stock market that's doing incredibly well compared to where we were a few months ago. And so we want to move on. We want to put it behind us. And there is a really interesting little book that J.K. Galbraith wrote called A Short History of Financial Euphoria that goes back to tulip mania and says that this has always been the pattern. People want to move on. They don't really want to spend time learning, restructuring. And we already see, as you know very well, companies going back to very risky derivatives. You know, collateralized loan obligations are back in fashion. And all of the things that we thought would never happen again are happening. In the meantime, we haven't really restructured these companies. Remember, we kept saying, you know, we shouldn't have institutions that are too big to fail because then it means the taxpayer is on the hook. But we do. These institutions remain too big to fail, which means that they can take risks. They can reap the profits when things are going well, and when things are going badly, the taxpayer will bail them out. That's not capitalism, which is why what I'm saying, and very often what the Wall Street Journal editorial page is saying, is the same.
Is it the same in the sense that this version of capitalism, has it got to change, or is it really just going to remain more of the same?
Well, if it remains more of the same, the next time there is a bust, it might actually really bring us down.
All right, we're going to continue the conversation.
On this hopeful note.
On this hopeful note, yes. We'll worry about coming down on a bigger debacle. Coming up more with Ariana Huffington. She says eventually the chickens will come home to roost. But the big question is, what about the pigs? We'll find out. This is Taking Stock on Bloomberg.